Thank you very much. Let's get these minutes out of the way, and then we'll go to Mr. Stanley and Mr. Willis. The minutes, any additions, corrections? I just found one. It's not a 53% increase.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was, I think it might have been 3.5. It was 3%.
3.2.
3.2, okay, it was 3 and change, yeah. So, I'm gonna fix that in my report,
$53.
Yeah, it's not 53.
Oh, that's the Chagrin River Watershed?
Yeah.
What was it?
3.2.
Well, that's COLA.
Well, that's what they did.
Oh, for them too?
That's what they did.
Oh.
You gonna make a motion?
Yeah, with that correction,
I'll second.
PJ,
yes.
Gene,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Okay, apologize on behalf of the board, somehow miscommunication, and we missed your Eagle Court of Honor yesterday up at Hall. Very sorry for that. But we have two young men here, Luke Goulas and Logan Stanley, who have completed their Eagle requirements. And I'll read a proclamation for each of you. On November 17th, Luke Goulas from Auburn Troop 101, recognized by the Boy Scouts of America for successfully completing all requirements for Scouting's highest rank. And whereas gathered there on occasion as friends, family, and member of the Scouting community support him in his attainment of the rank of Eagle, and to recognize the faithful and steady path taken within the Scouting organization. Scouting for both boys and girls has been an integral part of the community of Auburn Township, as well as a positive influence for many years. We commend Luke on his Eagle Scout project, the planning, executing, and completion of an outdoor classroom platform furnished with a dry erase board and movable benches at the Kenston Intermediate School campus, Bainbridge Township, Geauga County. Therefore, we, the trustees of Auburn Township, do hereby recognize and congratulate Luke Goulas, Eagle Scout, for this outstanding accomplishment, and extend him our deepest appreciation for all his dedicated work, and wish him the best in all his future endeavors. Thank you very much. I got a call before I came up that the lady from the Maple Leaf couldn't make it because the roads were too bad, so I apologize. We
No
couldn't have
worries.
gotten this publicity, but thank you very much. Okay, Logan's 17th was recognized by Boy Scouts of America for successfully completing requirements for Scouting's highest rank. We are gathered on occasion as friends, family, and members of the Scouting community to support him on his attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout and recognize the faithful and steady path taken within the organization. Once again, Scouting for both boys and girls has been an integral part of the community here, as well as positive influence for many years. We commend Logan on his Eagle Scout project, the planning, executing, and completion of 4 large animal-defiant waste receptacles for the community pavilion at Auburn Community Park, Auburn Township, Geauga County. Trustees of Auburn do hereby recognize and congratulate Logan Stanley, and thank you very much. Our road department appreciates it greatly. We don't have to pick that stuff up twice. For his outstanding accomplishment, and extend to him our deepest appreciation for his dedicated work. Wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
You know, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again.
You gentlemen were very instrumental in our pancake breakfasts and the Fourth of July parade and also the clam bake. We couldn't have done it without you. We really appreciate all the work you did for that. And wish you the best of luck in the future endeavors. Thank you again.
Anything to add on how your projects went?
I say mine went down, honestly, without a lot of hitches, I'm gonna be honest, it went very well. As the bad things that Ken seems possibly tearing down the intermediate school next year, so my hope is that they keep the classroom, but I'm very happy with how it went.
Okay, I'm old, so which one goes as the intermediate school? The old middle school.
Old,
Okay.
I believe so.
Would be on the north side of the park.
North side.
Yeah, where they put it on the floor.
The store, yeah.
Alright. That was new when I was a kid.
You are old.
I know. Wasn't even there when you were going through.
Touche.
That is, that's good.
And Logan, thank you very much. Those were, when we first started up there, we were just putting out those plastic things with the lids, and we were overmatched by raccoons. So, yeah, our guys found a mess up there every time post-party. So, you know, we've been in the pavilion, once we did that, we needed more. We appreciate you for filling that need. Thank you.
I will say, I did run into a couple issues getting them together and fitting nicely, but once we figured out the first one, the rest were a lot easier to get done.
Well, good, we appreciate it, they work, they do work.
Very happy.
That's right, that's the point. I
Raccoons.
think that's the point.
You repaired the ones that were there.
That is true.
Some
There was
chain-
a couple where either the chain was broken off or just,
the little eyelet where the chain goes to.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
either
so-
bent open. I know there was one that was missing a lid, so I used some of the scrap materials from mine to make a new lid.
Well, we appreciate it. Yeah, it makes it much easier for our guys to clean up post-party, so appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
We'll move into some reports tonight. We'll start with Chief John Phillips from the AVFD, and Mario Minacci's here as well tonight.
Reported calls from January to November 30th. EMS calls, we had a total of 451. Fire calls, we had 368 for a total of 819. Last year was 769. I should tell you, the EMS calls of last year was 449 and 320 for a total of 769. Mutual aid given was 178. Last year was 197. Mutual aid received was 62. Last year was 50. Total transports was 323. Last year was 315. Total non-transports was 167. Last year was 150. Total transfer to other agencies, 0. Last year we had 7. Total patients for this year is 490. Last year is 472. Our percentage of multiple calls is 26.98%. Last year was 19.63. They're definitely going up. That's it for my report. I'll turn it over to Mr. Minacci.
Thank you. Just here to officially execute the contract. So the copy that I have for you guys tonight for signing, obviously no changes since the last presentation.
There was a dollar amount that was changed from,
It was just a dollar amount, the rest of the contract was the same as last year.
Yeah, and right, in comparison, and while in comparison to last year, we did remove some of the additional clauses we put in for the
Right.
ARPA funding and
well,
all that.
and this was to build in a cost of living adjustment for the employees that staff the station, and it's kind of important to have employees staff the station.
And the staffing is the major part of the expense there. 75% of the budget is
Yeah, a
just,
little bit over 75%.
yeah, it's
So
staffing, so.
Absolutely.
it's, yeah, it's been a big transition for us as an organization as we've moved, 20 years ago. we
It's, sure, you were all volunteer,
All volunteer.
and once you moved into staffing that station and being dedicated, you can't abandon that idea,
Mhm,
regardless of some opinions that get thrown around, yeah.
mhm.
So I'll make a motion to approve the contract, as it was given to us last week with the 3.2% COLA increase.
I'll second.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
This is the one that the prosecutor's office reviewed and she stamped. Do you wanna use this one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
We can use that.
That's fine. Actually, the only thing got changed was the file name on it, so
Well, I crossed off draft and put final and initialed it.
that's fine. That's perfectly great.
Well, we've got it all in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need witnesses here? Apparently not.
Let's just make a copy of that then and send us over to the
We can do that.
Well, thank you, Mario, Chief, and
Thank you,
Did you want
gentlemen.
the original
Thank you,
back
everyone.
then?
Thank you.
Copies?
we appreciate everything you guys do for us. And, I know the community does too. Everybody's got a story of, having somebody come over to help them out when they needed it, so just, we really appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
I resemble that.
Okay, we'll move into these reports and we'll start with Mike Troy.
Yeah, the only thing I had was the fire contract, getting that taken care of, so I can see my time.
And I'll concede my time. It's all you.
All I have is, talked to Emmerich right before the meeting's done, it'll be about 6 o'clock. We got an alternator out on one truck, $400, that'll be here tomorrow afternoon. And so we're one truck short, but they were starting another route right at 6 o'clock and, well, I came over on the lane that was plowed, so that was kinda nice, so. Truck's bright when you use them. That's all I have. What do you got, Dan?
Alright, since we last met, I processed 5 electronic payments, 25 warrants, total of $187,361.55. You have copies. And just wanted to follow up, any update on that survey, that pond retention survey? I still have, I'm holding that check.
We haven't seen it, have we? The final draft, or whatever you call it. That's for the, expanded, retention pond at the park, when we added to the parking lot. So we approved the contract with the, civil engineer, and, we're waiting on the completion of the work before it gets paid, which is how it should be.
But the project is done, right?
Well, the project itself is done, this is the paperwork. It's not done until the paperwork's done. Talking about government now.
That's all I have. Until we get to the new business.
We got a letter from Charter Communications. in regards to, they are going to pursue some federal money.
Is it federal or state?
I think it started with the feds and then they send it down to the states.
Because that had to do with that meeting I attended.
It did.
In Bainbridge.
And it's for basically completions of holes in the internet access, which Auburn has a fair amount of that. I think that's available to all companies that are serving Auburn Township, but that's the first one we've seen is from Spectrum. And then go and just add it.
And like I said, this won't preclude us from, anybody else comes in, sign off on them too.
Yeah, I might think twice about Optimum or Seabridge or Sunlink or whatever they're calling themselves these days. They seem to be eager
I
to
don't think
take,
they're an issue.
they're eager to take money and not eager to do much work. Okay, so here's a draft of this, I'll read it quickly. Broadband expansion in Geauga County, this is a letter of support. Dear Broadband Ohio, Auburn Township writes today in support of the application submitted in round 2 of Broadband Expansion Grant program by Spectrum Mid-America as managed by Charter Communications, that works here in Geauga County. Township has worked to understand the broadband needs of this region and to bring about opportunities to expand broadband access and provide reliable connectivity to urban and rural areas that lack sufficient coverage. Investments in infrastructure are vital to connecting Ohio's unserved and underserved residential locations. As I mentioned, we have some. Charter Communications recently emphasized its continued commitment to Ohio through a $1.25 billion investment that includes company-wide network evolution project and continued broadband expansion efforts to increase speeds they offer, as well as the number of locations that can subscribe. Our residents deserve access to opportunities and services that are only afforded by highly reliable high-speed internet. Thus, Township is pleased to support Charter Communications in its application for funding through the round 2 of the Ohio Residential Broadband Expansion Grant Program, an effort to expand broadband services in Geauga County. I'll make a motion in support.
And this doesn't have to, they're talking about that meeting I went to, that they don't even expect this to be close to being completed till 2030.
Probably, of course, we've
Right.
only been waiting since 1980 some
Right.
places, so.
So this isn't something that's gonna happen right away. They're just jockeying for positions to get favorable, whatever, from the state or the federal government.
You know,
You
that
second?
original STAR contract, the negotiations started in 1980,
There you go.
STAR Cable. Yep.
Is there a second?
I seconded.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
The lady's name was Brown, the last name, and Jack and I went down to Youngstown to meet with her to have them come to Auburn.
Do I have the original? You have the original. You gonna sign that?
I don't.
This is a copy. I don't know. I guess we're supposed to sign that, but I just have a stamped copy, so that won't work.
I signed it already and passed it down, so you should have it somewhere. The letter.
So,
Okay. Right here. Okay, Dan, this is what we talked about earlier. We got a resolution to request the establishment of a capital projects fund.
Pursuant to and as allowed by Ohio Revised Code 5705-13, Section C, and Prosecutor's Office, with the help of Chrissy Ryan, provided us with this resolution. It's 2023-35, the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, on the 18th day of December. Whereas it is the desire of the Auburn Township Board of Trustees that pursuant to RC 570513, Section C, there be established within the appropriations of Auburn Township a capital project fund, more fully described below, for the purpose of accumulating resources for the acquisition, construction, or improvement of fixed assets of the township, and whereas it is the desire of the board to establish Fund 4903 Capital Project Fund, single axle dump truck with plow, for the purpose of the acquisition, construction, and or improvement of fixed assets, including but not limited to hauling materials and plowing snow. The board intends to accumulate $240,000 over a 10-year period of time. The source of money to accumulate said monies for Fund 4903 is Fund 2021 gasoline tax. And whereas it is the desire of the board to authorize an initial transfer of $60,000 from Fund 2021 to newly established Fund 4903, and whereas money shall not be accumulated in any of the above referenced funds for more than 10 years after the date that this resolution establishing the funds is adopted. If the township has not entered into a contract for the acquisition, construction, or improvement of fixed assets for which money was accumulated in such funds before the end of the 10-year period, the township fiscal officer shall transfer all money in the fund to the fund or funds from which that money originally transferred, or the fund that originally was intended to receive the money. And whereas the board has the authority by resolution to rescind any or all of the capital project funds established by this resolution. If any capital projects fund is rescinded, money accumulated in the fund shall be transferred to the fund or funds from which the money was originally transferred. So this
Okay.
allows you to,
Yeah, I'm curious about that 10-year accumulation.
that's part of the ORC.
That's part of the ORC.
This is for the purchase of the, so we can buy the truck.
Right,
instead
the
of-
goal is to stay on the same cycle, and replace a truck every 4 years, which means about 16-year lives for the trucks.
Right.
So, but the 10 years comes from ORC, right? Alright, so that works.
So we need a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
And the next resolution has to do with temporary appropriations for fiscal year 2024. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that to provide for the current expenses and or other expenditures of said board during the first quarter ending March 31st, 2024, the following summary of temporary appropriations is hereby set aside from the certificate of the County Budget Commission, which was dated August 21st, 2023, for which expenditures are to be made for and during said first quarter, as shown on the attached spreadsheet, and totaling $4,212,435.19. Temporary appropriations by fund for the first quarter of 2024 will be forthcoming. And attached, you can see monies that are appropriated in the general fund, motor vehicle license, gasoline tax, road and bridge, cemetery, fire levy, permissive motor vehicle, and what remaining monies that are in the ARPA fund, totaling the $4,212,000.
Okay, motion to adopt.
Second.
PJ,
Yes.
Gene,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
So,
Well, thank you, Dan. I just heard about it today, there's another NOPEC community grant for $1,500. Is this the one we split up amongst the clubs, 4-H club?
I don't know.
Yeah. The amount sounds like that. I think there's one that we've sent to the 4-H clubs that are based in Auburn Township. And maybe that's it, as well as scouts, as well as scouts, too. As well as scouts.
Split it amongst the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts.
And that 1,500 sounds familiar,
Nancy
doesn't
sends
that?
out the letter to the groups.
Yeah.
Respond.
And that amount sounds familiar,
Yes.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'd imagine that's what that is. Okay, public comment? Anyone?
Yeah, actually, this is just a question for Dan, from the warrants that's, copy of what you gave me. And I'm just curious about the 7,000 plus charge from Aurora carpet cleaning. Is that for all the carpets in the township, or what did that,
That's for, VCT maintenance in the fire station, all our tile,
okay,
to strip it, give it 2 coats of wax. We do it every year.
okay, thank you. I guess it'd be that much money, huh?
Well, it's gone up a little bit, like everything else,
Yeah.
we got several quotes on it, and that was the best one,
That was the best one.
yes.
There's a lot of floor space over there.
Yes, there is.
Thank you, Lou.
You know
Okay.
what it would cost to replace it, which is why we have a program to keep it maintained.
Sees a lot of traffic too, I mean, the building's constantly in use.
Okay, anybody else? Let's say Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We'll see y'all on, January 8th.
January 8th.
Rest up for the organization meeting, that'll take a while.
We meeting up front tomorrow.
Okay, motion adjourned.
Haven't gotten a motion to adjourn yet, looking for that
Take a
ultimate
motion to
motion.
adjourn.
I'll second.
Thanks for people coming, probably.
TJ?
Yes.
Pete?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I don't know about Mike yet, but I know that,
Diane, you're gonna have to learn
board members are
shorthand.
gonna be there.
I'm sorry?
You're gonna have to learn shorthand now.
Oh, no, it's better exercise.
How many people are speaking for me?
Not too many.
We sent the preliminary agenda out, most people are
I
speaking.
don't know, still time, so I can't wait.
As far as I knew, up until the night, me and Matt were only gonna want to be there.
My mother was really good at shorthand. When we were kids, and there was a song that you
I
wanted
knew Jeff
the
told
words
me
to
to
it,
be
she
there,
would
and,
listen to write
Joe
that down.
My mother did that.
We're gonna have to, like, say, if we can get into that Google
Yeah.
thing. Google
I took it in
Invite,
college.
maybe.
Yeah,
It was like,
Yeah, my mother.
my mother graduated from Maple Lane High School.
I don't RSVP, cause I go to all of them.
I'm sorry?
I don't RSVP, cause I go to all of them. They go